Alrighty, welcome back to another partless rundown series. The partless rundown series that I'm doing right now is for the Traxxas Bandit VXL Snow and Sand Edition. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this segment, and I'll go over a history of what's initially where we've gone with this, and its predecessor and stuff like that. So we'll see what's happening in the field. Alrighty, I'll wait a few more seconds for you guys to join in, and then I'll start off the segment with a brief history lesson on the Bandit and what's initially transpired throughout the years and where we're at today. So, the Traxxas Bandit VXL. So primarily, I ended up with the Traxxas Bandit because I ended up conforming all extra parts that I had from my Russell and Mama Monster series and started building a Bandit. I said, this is kind of like my second type project in doing a build like this. And when I started doing the Bandit build, it was a CJ Greaves body. As you can see, I have another body. I'm a big person in saying you should always have a run body and a show body. So I had two CJ Greaves bodies, and I'll go across and give you a quick history lesson on stuff. So primarily, when I ended up starting to do the Bandit series, this was the initial. Let me see. So this looks like, if I can get into this. This band is. That's me talking. So as you can see, in an older video that I had on here, I had the Rustler Mama Monster. That was the Gravedigger that I started doing. Here's another Rustler that I had from parts over there, and there's an X01. This is when I ended up starting to do a lot of other things other than what's customized on there. It's not the same Bandit, I had the white RPM steering links, T-bone racing front and rear. The skis on this were from Full Force RC. And there's a lot of other components that I have not installed into this RC. As you can see, I have the aluminum caps and stuff, but it was still the CJ Greaves body. I ended up doing, let me see what this is. Once again, we're going commercial in 3 seconds. So primarily with this type of upgrade, I ended up showing a whole bunch of people, when I got the Anacondas specifically for the Bandit. And this, in actuality, was at my old house where I used to live at. And I just started doing a quick speed run just to see how these Anacondas would run. They were pretty decent. They weren't. They were pretty cool for what it was at the time. I'm not too sure what this one was. We'll go back into another commercial. And there's my old Splash, which I used to do years ago. Yeah, I'm not too sure who is running. Oh, and you're gonna see the kids down the block realize that I had my Bandit out, and one of them tried to chase my Bandit. I said, no, man, I'm out of here. For people who have never really seen my RCs run, this is like an older video and stuff like that. So I did a lot of customizations with this. People are still a fan of these. Trying to see what these are. These are the Offna tires. Wow, that's an old video. Okay. And people are still a fan of those off. This is when I started rebuilding it. So I'll go over a little bit of a history lesson with you. This is something where I built for calibration of your rims. Skip that. My old Splash. And this is when I started calibrating for you to set up your Bandit for just correct camber. People always thought that was for speed runs. It was never set up for speed runs. It was just to calibrate your wheels and stuff like that. I bought two different types of sets for me to calibrate all my stuff, as you can see. Good older video for people just to check out stuff, and there's a part list on that. So what has happened since I've been doing these Bandit videos? All right. So a YouTuber ended up wanting to get one of my Bandits. He wanted it so bad that I believe, if history holds well, that's how I ended up getting the E-Revo, a brand new E-Revo, to trade up for the Bandit. So once I did that, I was kind of annoyed at the time because now I have an E-Revo, but my custom Bandit was never built, and I still had parts for to do another Bandit series. So I said, fine. So I ended up building this RC, which it's not exactly the way I wanted it to be, but there are a lot of things I wished I had finished on it, and I had not. But I'll tell you from the front to the back, primarily what's been installed, what parts I have available yet to install there, and work on it from that point on. So you're going to notice that I have the Integy skis that are in the front. These are specifically for the Slash two-wheel drive and the Rustler, and also the E-Max. I ended up installing it for the Bandit. Also, stock shocks from Traxxas. Never upgraded them, but I do have the shock covers from badhorsey.com, front and rear. I have the red RPM bumper. I have the red RPM arms. I got the camber links, the aluminum in red, which matched up pretty perfectly with that. Shock tower is also RPM. The bulkhead is from Integy. All my screws are stainless steel. Like always, I always recommend people to get stainless steel screws. Work our way around. If you look closely, my steering is also from Integy. That's red aluminum over there. If we go into the rear, these are the Proline Sandpaws. Yes, these are the Proline Sandpaws. There is no foam in here, which I never realized why I never got no foam, but it worked pretty well from what I understand. My preference is I'm probably going to go with 2.8 if I start doing that. Red RPM arms, the same stock drive shaft. I do have metal drive shafts that I can install here. I probably will, just to complete the project. Red RPM cover. Also, black RPM. I guess you consider this the motor protector. It's a little scratched up because I was riding this thing. Also, the transmission case I never changed, which I always thought it was kind of weird. I should have changed it, but never did. Maybe one day I will do it and just finish up the project. Now, and also I do have the shock towers from RPM in the front, in the rear as well. So I'm going to take off the CJ's Greaves body, which a lot of people have asked me to sell them this. And to me, I think this is more of a collector's item than anything else. So I do have a regular plain Bandit body, but I ended up opting not to do that. All right, so now we're going to the internal workings of this unit. As you can see, stuff that's always recommended that I'm pretty big pusher for is the Dusty Motors Shroud. It doesn't come all the way up because you still have your steering that's coming over here. Main reason why I enjoyed utilizing Dusty Motor Shrouds is because it has a zipper in the middle, and that's the main reason. And it keeps all the yuck out of there and stuff. So let me take off the shroud itself, and you're going to see that this car has not been run in a long time. So long that I don't even think, yep, these things, the adhesive has come off. I'll put you back in, and we're going to look at the internal parts of this RC. As you can see, this is a VXL system. I never even tried to do the bad air extender. The fan is missing. Why is the fan missing? I think I took it off for another RC, but I do have another fan available. It is running on the 2075, the 2075 servo that's over there. This is the older VXL system that I'm utilizing for this unit. As you can see, I just plopped in a battery, nickel metal hydrate battery, just to have it in there. I don't know why. It's been so long. The wire mesh, which is red over there. And I'm not too sure if there's a receiver in here. Possibly. I have no idea if there's even a receiver, but we'll see in future videos if I do have a receiver in there or not. So that being said, primarily the platform has been utilized for a long time with the Traxxas Bandit. Now, it's kind of like a love-hate type RC. A lot of people swear by the Traxxas Bandit. A lot of people just can care less about the Traxxas Bandit. I'm not too sure why. There's many utilizations that you can utilize. Many utilizations for this RC that are pretty much untapped. People get frustrated because it does flip around a lot. It does have the speed. It does have the speed, but people opt to go with the Rustler because of the way the extension of the Rustler is. And yeah, so that's primarily it. Now, here are the pros. I'll give you my final thought on this RC and where this RC is going at this point. So Traxxas just released vignettes on the Rustler and the Bandit that have gone a price break beyond belief. I don't know if it's 129 or 139. I'm not too sure, but it's so low on the price point that, you know, I don't know if it's going to affect their Traxxas series. You know, I mean, why invest the money into a Traxxas where you could just spend a few more dollars and get yourself a 110 scale RC? That being said, there are many utilizations that you could utilize with the Traxxas Bandit. The pros: it is a fast RC. It's one of their buggies out there. I mean, it's definitely a cool RC. The cons: you can't upgrade a lot of things on this Bandit, but nothing as opposed to you getting the Slash 2-wheel drive, the Rustler 2-wheel drive, which whoever knew if they were going to make a Rustler 4x4, I've always wanted them to do, and the Stampede 2-wheel drive. A few companies do make upgrades for this, specifically for their wheelbase and everything like that. I know Intergy is one, probably Hot Racing is another. Is this a recommended RC for you to get? Like I said, this is a love-hate RC that people either enjoy having this style of RC or they don't. I just wanted it back in my fold and just to say, all right, you know what, my Bandit is still there and stuff like that. Am I gonna do any upgrades on this RC in the near future? No. I do have parts for this RC. I do have a drive shaft. I do have the link ends in white. I do have caps that I'm gonna throw on there. I saw a pretty cool picture of from Traxxas where it had two eyes and then the lips and the face or whatever the hell it was. I thought it was kind of funny. That's pretty cool. I'm probably going to change out these screws to have a different type of setup to where it protects these shocks right here. I believe T-Bone Racing makes that, a protector. Also, I do have paddle tires, which are the 2.8s. Usually when you see the 2.8s, they are on like Stampede or something like that, or a Slash 2-wheel drive. But I'm going to put them on there because I do have the extension of the Rustler arms on there. I think it would just give it more pull. I've driven this in the snow. I've driven this in the sand. It does give cool rooster tails when it comes down to that, but it could be better. I mean, the drivetrain is set up for a 2.8, so that's something I want to do. That's just something that's conceptual that I want to do on this RC. I do not plan to do any more purchasing of upgrading this type of RC. Why? Because, you know, I don't play with it. You know, this became a project, and then it was just, there you go, on to the next project. But there are still a lot of parts that I need to install that I have relatively available. I do have an upgraded servo for it. I do have an extra receiver for it if I want to. I do have the tires. I do have the drive shafts. And I think that's it. So let me see. Philip, what's going on? So that's primarily it for the Traxxas Bandit. Like I said, it's a love-hate RC. People like it, people hate it. I mean, I liked it, so that's my opinion. So hopefully this video was informative to you. If you want a description of any of the parts that you see available over here, in the description below, you'll be able to find my whole part list on the Traxxas Bandit. And it should give you relatively some type of know-how of either what type of customizations you've seen on this RC that you would want on yours, and also it'll give you an idea of what you can and can't do. So once again, if this video was informative to you, give me a thumbs up. Does help out, if anything. So and if you haven't been subscribe now. I do the series is about to end on the partless upgrade update series that I think is has been doing pretty well, where people are getting informed more and more of these RCs particularly. So once again, if this video is informative to you, try to syndicate it, or definitely do a little bit of research on what you want to do with your Bandit. And rate, comment, subscribe. Tell my fellas up on YouTube. Later.